Before the first arrow was released, before the first life was taken, there was silence. Not peace, but the kind of silence that exists before destiny moves. On the vast plains of Kurukshetra, two armies stood facing each other. Millions of warriors, fathers and sons, teachers and students, brothers bound by blood, divided by duty. This was not just a war for a throne. This was a war where Dharma itself would be tested. Day one of the Kurukshetra war had begun. As the sun rose slowly over the battlefield, conches were lifted. Their sound rolled across the plains like thunder, shaking the hearts of men who knew that once this war began, there would be no turning back. The Pandava army stood disciplined and steady. 7 Akshauhinis, smaller in number but firm in purpose. They fought not for greed, not for conquest, but for justice denied. Across them stood the Kaurava forces, 11 Akshauhinis, larger, louder, confident in their strength and numbers. At their head stood one man, Bhishma Pitama. Bhishma, the grandsire of both armies, a warrior unmatched, a man who had taken a vow so powerful that it shaped the fate of generations. He knew the Pandavas were righteous. He knew the Kauravas walked the path of adharma. Yet he stood on the Kaurava side, not because he supported their cause, but because he had given his word. And for Bhishma, a vow once taken was stronger than truth itself. When Bhishma raised his bow, even the greatest warriors felt fear. Not fear of death, but fear of inevitability. On the Pandava side stood Krishna, unarmed, silent, calm. He held no bow, he carried no weapon. Yet everyone on that battlefield knew his presence alone tilted destiny. Krishna did not command the war. He did not interfere. Day one was not about miracles. It was about men facing the consequences of the choices they had already made. As the conches faded, the sky darkened. Thousands of arrows rose together, cutting through the air like a storm. Chariots surged forward. Horses thundered across the earth. Dust swallowed the horizon. Steel met steel. Yet this was not chaos. Not yet. Day one was measured, controlled, as if fate itself was watching, waiting to see if anyone would step back. Bhishma moved through the battlefield like an unstoppable force. His arrows struck with flawless precision. Pandava soldiers fell, not because they lacked courage, but because they faced a legend who could not be stopped. Again and again, the Pandava ranks were pushed back, and slowly, a realization spread through their army. This war would not be won easily. Krishna watched. He said nothing, because some lessons cannot be taught through words. They must be lived. As the day progressed, no great hero fell. No divine weapons were unleashed. No legendary warrior met his end. This too was intentional. Day one was a warning, a final chance for pride to bend, for hatred to pause. But no one stepped back. As the sun began to set, conches were blown once more. The fighting stopped. Warriors withdrew to their camps. The wounded were carried away. The fallen were counted. Bhishma stood undefeated. The Kauravas felt confident. The Pandavas felt the weight of what lay ahead. And Krishna remained silent. That night, fires burned across the plains of Kurukshetra. Warriors sat quietly beside their weapons, swords laid on the ground, bows resting unused. Some stared into the flames, some stared into the darkness. Many realized for the first time that this war would demand far more than courage. It would demand sacrifice. Day one ended without a victor, but destiny had already chosen its path. From the next sunrise onward, every day would demand blood. Every decision would carry irreversible consequences. The silence of day one was gone forever. This was only the beginning.